Well, good afternoon. My name is Zach, and I am the Development and Marketing Director for Alzheimer's Arkansas, and I am filling in for Carolyn and Erica today. But we thank you for joining us for today's Lunch and Learn, and we apologize for getting a little bit of a late start. We had some tech issues, but thanks for joining us. Before we get to our guest speaker, I just wanted to give a couple of updates. So this Saturday, we have a real treat for you guys, and that is our Clarksville Drive-In movie this Saturday, September 26th at 7:30 p.m. The movie is going to be A Dog's Purpose, so if you haven't seen it, it's a wonderful movie. Bring some tissue because it is a sad movie, but it is really good. You can purchase tickets for that movie by going to alzark.org. /movie. We also have a drive-in coming up in Malvern on October 10th, also at 7:30 p.m. And that movie is going to be Beetlejuice. Again, you can purchase tickets for that movie at alzark.org /movie. For both movies, tickets are pay what you can. So whether that's $1, $10, $20, whatever that amount is, it's pay what you can. So we hope to see y'all at one of those movies. Today we're joined by a very special guest, Meredith Hill with Carelink, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her in.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Meredith. So Meredith's here to talk to you guys about Carelink, and so I'm going to let her take it away from here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today, Zach. I always enjoy an opportunity to speak to you all. For those who aren't familiar with Carelink, we are Central Arkansas's area agency on aging, and our mission is to provide services that help older people and their families overcome the challenges of aging. So if you don't know, we provide services like Meals on Wheels, in-home care, telephone reassurance, family caregiver assistance, and a host of other services. We also have an information and assistance team that is really wonderful. I've got to interact with them a lot. I interact with them more than some of my other coworkers, and they're really great. They truly have a heart for giving and for helping. And so if you ever have a question about anything aging related whatsoever, I highly recommend that you give them a call. I know that Zach does have our phone number and our email address available to put up on the screen throughout. So just, oh, there you go. So just know that we will have that available for you guys. But what I wanted to do was, one, really just kind of dive into the services that we have, but let you know how they have adapted in response to COVID. So we normally have 250 volunteers who help with our Meals on Wheels program. That is for people 60 and over who are homebound and unable to prepare a meal for themselves. That's our grant-funded program. We do also, outside of COVID, offer congregate meals through senior centers and other community organizations that want to offer those. And you just have to be 60 to participate in those. But because of COVID, we are not offering those right now. And we have disbanded our 250 volunteers, and we miss them terribly. And we know the people who receive meals really miss their friends, and the volunteers miss them as well. But we knew safety-wise, it was not the best thing. So we wanted to also limit the number of people that we were exposing our older friends and family to. So we have drivers. We have expanded our transportation. Before, we were offering some limited group transportation and things like that. But we have expanded that transportation department to be able to continue delivering those meals. So we have drivers who once a week will stop by someone's home and deliver 7 frozen meals. And that way they get lunch for 7 days a week. And we also offer some shelf-stable meal boxes as well as emergency meals. And when COVID first came to Arkansas, we spent $40,000 just in the first week alone to get emergency meals and shelf-stable meals to our Meals on Wheels recipients. And then we had to, like I said, expand our transportation department. So we had to hire more drivers. I do apologize for the dog. things are going on outside, and I also have a baby fighting their nap. So I do apologize for all of the background noise. But our drivers, we provide them with PPE. We even provide PPE for our Meals on Wheels recipients who want that extra bit of security, but they are not comfortable leaving their house. So they're not comfortable going and purchasing PPE for themselves. So we try to provide that for them as well if they request it. We do not have a plan for bringing our kitchen staff back and bringing our volunteers back. Right now, it's just not safe to do that. There's still so much that is unknown about COVID. And, I was talking to someone the other day and I said, goodness, I don't even know if we got to phase 3. Like, I think Arkansas is still in phase 2. And so a big part of that is that we also don't have a plan for when senior centers are going to open back up. And there have been a couple around the state who have given it a try, but it's been on a very small scale. And a lot of the services being offered typically are not being offered right now. So we don't have plans for those right now because we're still, paying attention. We're monitoring CDC guidelines, and monitoring the news so that we can make the best decisions. Now, we are not the ones who are going to open those senior centers necessarily, but we are going to work with the senior centers and those communities to get those open when we feel it is safe to do so. We also have a telephone reassurance program. And before, we had less than 100 people who were on that telephone reassurance program. And it's for people who spend 3 or more days alone, that they're okay, and they have all the resources that they need. And if they are in need, trying to figure out how we can help get them whatever it may be. And so that's also how we're filling the gap for those volunteers not being able to interact with them every day. And our in-home care program, the only way that has adapted is in the sense that we have slowed. We did have to put a hold on hiring caregivers for a little bit, but we have slowly started bringing them back in. We are incorporating COVID training into the week-long training that all of our caregivers have to have when they join. And so we're also providing PPE for all of them, as well as for all of our home care recipients. And in the event that a caregiver, if a caregiver tests positive for COVID, then they do not work until they are cleared by the health department to return to work. But we have had, I know of 2 home care recipients who have tested positive for COVID. And so that's when we just up the level of PPE that we are wearing, because obviously that person still needs our care and we want to still be able to provide it for them in a safe way, but also make sure that our caregivers are being taken care of and protected as well. And our Urgent Needs Fund, when it started 5 years ago, it was for low-income homeowners, and we have expanded it over the years. We've kind of broadened some of those requirements a little bit based on the person's need. And especially during COVID, we understand that there are a lot of things that, regardless of being a homeowner, there are certain things that our older loved ones need. And because of the pandemic, they are either unable to obtain them or they're afraid to go and get them. And so we have helped recently with, there was a person who needed cataract surgery, but they were unable to prepare for that. And based on certain requirements or eligibility requirements, we were able to assist with the out-of-pocket costs that came with that. We have provided firewood. Last winter, we provided firewood for a gentleman who was without and needed to stay warm for the winter. There's also an organization that provides box fans and other types of cooling mechanisms for homes that we coordinate with and can help with especially during summertime when it gets very, very hot. So we have assisted with that. One of our information and assistance specialists recently received a request for someone who needed a new AC unit, and it was right in the middle of the summertime, and they did not have the ability to repair that. And it was imperative to their help that they got that replacement. And so we coordinated with that entity, with that organization, to get them a replacement until they could get a better one if they wanted a higher level than what we were able to provide at no cost to them. But then our information assistance specialist, the person who needed it was unable to get it. And they didn't know of anyone who could pick it up for them. So our information and assistance specialist went and delivered that to them herself to make sure that they got that and were able to stay cool and safe during the summertime. We also recently helped someone who was in the hospital, and because of the nature of their hospital visit and their stay, they did not have any extra clothes. So we were able to purchase a couple of pairs of clothes for them, a couple of outfits for them, so that they felt a little embarrassed because they didn't have anything to wear. And so we were able to give them some of their dignity back and some of their independence back by, being able to have clothes of their own. And we coordinated with the hospital staff to get those clothes to them so that, again, we could reduce the amount of exposure to our employees as well as to the hospital staff and the person in the hospital care. Another service that we do offer is it's called Care Pack Express Meals. And that is for people who are in the hospital, who are 60 and over, and upon their return home need a little bit of assistance recovering. And, making meals might not be something that they're able to do right away. And either someone is helping them or isn't. And so we're able to provide 5 frozen meals to them. And all of this is available by calling 501-372-5300. So that that's our information and assistance department. Anything that you want or need starts with them. And what I tell people to do is, and like I mentioned earlier, just use us as a yellow pages, ask us a question, and our information and assistance team will do the best that they can to figure out exactly what type of services and assistance you need. They'll tell you what we offer. They'll let you know if it's something that we don't offer, if there's another organization that does, and they'll do their best to put you into contact with them. But they'll also help you determine what you qualify for as far as financial assistance may be. We provide services for people from Medicaid to private pay. There are no financial requirements to be able to obtain our services. The only time where financial status comes into play really is with the Urgent Needs Fund, because that is intended to assist people who are unable to obtain services and resources that they need. But we do receive Medicare and Medicaid funding and other funding sources that do help make it possible to where people who are within a certain income threshold are able to receive our services at either a reduced or cost or no cost to them. And again, that is all going to be determined on the person, their need, and other questions that will be answered during the assessment that our information and assistance team manages or does with every person who calls. And so whether you're calling for yourself or someone else, we'll do our best to help in any way that we can. We also provide services for family caregivers. If counseling is something that you need, reach out to us and we will do our best to get that for you through the right organization, through the right counselor, through our care coordinators. We understand that caring for another person, especially if that is a parent or a grandparent, spouse, sibling, that can really take its toll on someone. And so we want to make sure that they and you have the care that you need, because family caregivers need care too. And one of the ways that we do that is through our respite care grant that you can apply for through Alzheimer's Arkansas. For that grant, the person receiving the care does not have to have a form of dementia. They just, their only requirement health-wise is that they have a chronic illness and live within our service area. So we are Faulkner, Lonoke, Monroe, Prairie, Pulaski, and Saline County. And if you are listening and you do not live in any of those counties, that is no problem at all. You can still give us a call. We will let you know who your area agency on aging is and help you get into contact with them so that you can find out what services specifically are offered to you within your own community. We are a nonprofit, a 501c3. We were created through the Older Americans Act. And that is one of our funding sources, as I mentioned, Medicaid and Medicare. But because we are a nonprofit, we are able to create some of our own sources of funding for various programs. And so the Urgent Needs Program is one of those that we created, and it is 100% donor funded. So that's another reason why we have to have some form of requirements set in place, eligibility requirements set in place, so that we can make sure that we are being good stewards of our donors' money and making sure that we are taking the time to see exactly what someone needs, and how we can assist them in the best way to go about doing that. Now, because of COVID, there are a lot of people who are homebound, older people who were not homebound before, and they received those, if they did receive meals, they got them through the congregate meals programs at their local senior center, or they were able to, go out to eat, but still right now they just don't feel comfortable going to a restaurant. So we have also expanded the eligibility requirements or loosened the eligibility requirements for our Meals on Wheels program to be able to offer that to more homebound people who might have been able to go elsewhere to provide those meals for themselves before, but now they're just unsure where their next meal is going to come from or how they're going to do it, especially if they have faced a financial hardship during COVID, because we know that it has been very difficult on people, regardless of health, but financially, people have lost their jobs and their sources of income, and so we understand that as well, and we still want to be able to help in any way possible. So we are going to do our best to provide whatever resource and service we can, and if we can't provide something, as I mentioned before, we are going to try to figure out who can. We will never say, nope, sorry, we don't do that, we can't help you, and hang up. We are going to try to find out who can help you. If you ever hear that from our organization or one of the other area agencies on aging in the state, there are 8 of us. If you ever hear that, please let me know so that I can take that to the powers that be that says, hey, someone's not fulfilling the mission of our AAA and all the AAAs. If you want to know more about the AAAs as a whole and the various ones in the state, you can go to agingarkansas.com. That is the Arkansas Association of Area Agencies on Aging, or 5A for short. And they have information regarding all of the AAAs and the services that are provided. As I mentioned before, some services are going to be different because we are all nonprofits, and we do have certain services that we offer that other ones might not. But again, we can still work with you to find out. We have a resource directory that is updated multiple times a year as new resources come in, as resources change. We update that so that we can inform you. So if you were to call and you have Entergy and you are having some issues with your bill or whatever it may be, you can call us and we can let you know about some assistance programs that Entergy has. Even though we're not the ones providing that service, we're still letting you know who does. And so even if it means putting you into contact with another home care provider, we will do that because it's not about us. It is about you. It is about the loved one that you are caring for. And it's about giving you the comfort and peace of mind in knowing that your loved one is taken care of. So I see that there was a question for me to repeat what those counties were. So we are Faulkner, Lone Oak, Monroe, Prairie, Pulaski, and Saline counties. As I mentioned, there are 8 area agencies on aging in the state. Jonesboro, Craighead County is going to be the Northeast Arkansas. Fayetteville is the Northern Arkansas. Hot Springs is West Central. Pine Bluff is going to be Southeast. And so there are a few more. Those are the ones that I receive a lot more requests from, as far as people contacting us about services, because maybe they heard us speaking or saw us speaking on, through one of these, or, maybe saw us on one of the local media stations that does reach statewide. And so those are why I can, rattle those off a lot quicker than some of the other ones. You've got White River, Southwest, and I believe there's also Northwest. I'm sure I'm missing one. But like I said, you can go to agingarkansas.org, and there will be an interactive map on the homepage where you can find your county and your region. But then also, if you do go to our website, carelink.org, down in the footer of the website, you will see what is called helpful links. And if you click on that, it'll tell you all of the area agencies on aging, how you can get into contact with them by linking you to their website. It will also tell you other helpful links to organizations nationwide and statewide that focus on the aging community specifically. We do also, because I know a lot of people are still seeing our Carelink vehicles driving around, and so they wonder, well, what transportation are you offering, or how are you using that? So first, as I mentioned before, we're using it for our Meals on Wheels program. And then also we do have a non-emergency medical transportation program within our transportation program that offers, if there is someone in a hospital, there are a few hospitals that we are assisting and in Little Rock. And so if someone, whether it's Carti, Baptist, they don't have a ride home, maybe they came in on an ambulance, or a family member, brought them in, but now that family member has gone back, maybe they don't live in the state. We are able to help them get home. And so that is a service so you might see our vehicles driving by with people on them that way. And then we are also still assisting with transportation to and from doctors' offices as well. Our group transportation has been put on hold for right now. But once we get a better handle on COVID, then we will be able to, as long as it meets CDC guidelines and regulations, we will start opening. We will start opening some of those services back over. As far as great question about the Senior Companion Program. So as far as I know, we are not bringing the Senior Companion Program back. I think we were one of the last AAAs in the state that was offering that, and we were offering it within our service area. And then I believe it was last December that we ultimately decided to stop offering that service. And we had a lot of volunteers, a lot of senior companions who were great. And we miss them. And there were some who also helped out with our Meals on Wheels program as well. But as of right now, we do not have any plans to bring that back. However, if you want to go to Senior Corps' website, it's part of AmeriCorps. But if you go to AmeriCorps, and I'm going to blame it on the mom brain. I believe it's the National Council or Committee of Community Programs, something like that, like NCOCC. So I didn't even say the right words. But they will, they can tell you some other programs that they do offer. I know through DHS, they are offering the Foster Grandparents Program, which is for older people to, now I don't know what how that has adapted as a result of COVID, but I do know that about 2 months ago, they reached out to us just to share on our social channels that they did still have that program available. So I would assume that it will vary throughout the state how that is being offered. But it actually helps older people, grandparents, if you, for the sake of the program name, it helps grandparents interact with children. And so what happens for the most part is they'll go to a local school and they will do story time with the kids or something like that. And so you can always go to DHS's website and look at their foster grandparent program and see how to get involved with that, if that's something that you're interested in doing, or if you have an older person in your family who you think could benefit from that. Senior Corps is really great. They have the foster grandparent program, the Senior Companions program. It's also called RSVP, and I've looked into it slightly, but I don't really have that great of an understanding of exactly what that is. But definitely look into the foster grandparent program. That might be a really good opportunity for somebody who was maybe a part of our Senior Companions program, but is still looking for a way to be involved within Senior Corps and within the community. Great questions, by the way. Thank you for those. And if you want to go to our website, again, carelink.org, you can go to our About Us section, and we have updated our agency brochure. And so you'll see when you click on the About Us tab on the homepage, you will see that on the right side there will be there will be a menu, and one of them is say view our agency brochure, and you can look on there and you can see how that has been updated. Also, we have recently translated that brochure and are in the process of getting it put together in a brochure so that we can put that on the website as well. So if you are Spanish speaking, or you know someone Spanish speaking who could benefit from Carelink services, you can just let them know that we are in the process of getting our brochure translated and up on the website as well.
All right. Thanks so much, Meredith. I'm assuming you reached the end.
Yes.
Wasn't sure, but okay, cool.
Well, I was just waiting to see if there were any more.
Yeah. So if y'all have any questions, please comment those, and we will get those answered. But it's just amazing to me how much Carelink does, and and again, one of the things they offer is those respite grants that you can get through us here at Alzheimer's Arkansas by going to our website, alzark.org/grants.
I also realized that I cut myself off of explaining how that works.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give them some more information on that?
Yeah, so of course, Zach will be able to answer any questions, and you can find it on their website as well. There's a lot of great information on there. But yeah, so if you live within our 6-county service area, or if the person receiving a caregiver lives within our 6-county service area, and they have a chronic illness, then they are eligible for the family caregiver respite grant that we offer. It is $500, and a family caregiver can apply for it once a year. We're July through June. They can apply for it once a year, but the person receiving the care can have up to 2 people apply for it. So say Zach and I'm going to use him as an example because I do have a brother named Zach. So say Zach and I are brother and sister, and we are caring for our parents, and we split it up. There are, certain times of the year where we help here and there because of our jobs or whatever it may be. But I have something I need to go. I need a spa day for myself. I need a mental health day for me. And so I apply for the grant so that I can bring in a caregiver to watch mom while I'm gone. And so that counts as one. And so it's up to $500. And there are a few different ways that you can apply for, or that you can receive the money for that. So I will leave that to Zach because that's going to be something specific to Alzheimer's Arkansas and how they process those. And so I don't want to give wrong information regarding that. But then say, Zach is taking care, it's his turn to take care of mom for whatever reason. And, he comes down sick or something happens and he can't be home one day. Well, then he can apply for it and receive it. And so that is 2 caregivers within 1 year, but one person at a time can apply for it, but the person receiving the care gets it twice. So that's very confusing at times. But just know your loved one is eligible for it twice. You are eligible for it once within a July to June year.
And we could answer all of those questions if you call the office, call 501-224-0021 and hit the option for grants. Amanda, our grants coordinator, is phenomenal and We'll be happy to answer any questions, but it's a really easy process. The application's on our website. Again, alzark.org/grants. Just fill that application out. You can fax it back to us, mail it back to us, email it back, however you want to get it back to us. But it's a really simple application. And again, Amanda's great and able to answer all of those questions, but absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Meredith, for joining us today. I don't think I see any more questions. So unless you have any other information.
No, just give us a call if you ever have a question, or there's a contact us page on our website, so you can submit any questions that you have there. Even though our brochure, maybe you're looking on there and you don't see something that you like maybe you're looking for something specific and you don't see it on our brochure or our website, that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't offer it. We've just tried to give a broad overview of the services that we have to offer. But please don't ever let that stop you from giving us a call, even if it's just to find out a question, to find out, where you should go. We will never hold that information back. We want to make sure that you and your loved ones have the information that you need. And so we're gonna do whatever we can to make sure that you get it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Meredith, for joining us. It's always a pleasure having Carelink to be a part of our Lunch and Learns.
Yes, I love being a part of them. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, and then just as a reminder, everyone, we do have a couple of events coming up. So we do have one this weekend, the Clarksville Drive-In movie, September 26th at 7:30. Again, in Clarksville, you can buy tickets at alzark.org/movie. Tickets are pay what you can. So again, whether that's $1, $10, $20, we'd love to see you there. And lastly, we do have our Malvern Drive-In movie, October 10th at 7:30. Again, tickets are pay what you can for that one. And you can purchase tickets at the alzark.org/movie. And thanks for joining us. Bye.